All right, everyone, let's get started on today's topic, Veratrum Album. This is a remedy that addresses some of the most intense states of human suffering, both physically and mentally. So it's essential we approach it with a keen understanding. Veratrum Album, or white hellebore, is derived from the dried root of the Veratrum Album plant. This plant thrives in moist meadows in the Alps, Pyrenees, Russia, northern China and Japan. The homeopathic tincture is prepared by potentization, a process involving dilution and vigorous shaking of the powdered root, which enhances its therapeutic properties. This remedy is not for mild issues, it's for the depths of despair, the peak of physical collapse, and everything in between. Now, let's delve into the core characteristics that define Veratrum Album. We're talking about extremes here, so think of it as a remedy for when the body and mind are pushed to their absolute limits. Veratrum Album is the remedy for profound weakness and collapse. Imagine a person who has just experienced severe food poisoning. They are lying on the floor, drenched in cold sweat, vomiting and experiencing uncontrollable diarrhea. They're too weak to move. The patient feels icy cold, particularly in their extremities. This isn't just a slight chill, but a deep, bone-chilling cold, often accompanied by a cold sweat, especially on the forehead. The skin may feel clammy, and the lips and nails may appear blue due to poor circulation. This is characterized by profuse vomiting and diarrhea, often occurring simultaneously. This can lead to severe dehydration and weakness. Despite the coldness, the patient typically craves large quantities of cold water. Veratrum Album is marked by feelings of desperation, despair, and hopelessness. Patients may even contemplate suicide due to their overwhelming despair. They might exhibit religious or moral anxiety, believing they have committed a grave sin or are being punished. There can also be restlessness, anxiety, and even a frenzied state. Let's get into more specific details. The Veratrum Album patient often looks deathly pale with a collapsed, sunken face. Their eyes may appear sunken with dark circles and their nose might look pointed. Men might experience severe gastric disturbances, including violent vomiting and diarrhea, accompanied by cold sweats and a sense of despair. They may also have intense headaches, neuralgia, or mania with a religious or moral aspect. Women may have symptoms related to the reproductive system, such as nymphomania, puerperal mania, or painful menstruation. They might also have severe vomiting during pregnancy or after childbirth. Children might present with cholera infantum, meningitis, or whooping cough. They may be extremely weak with cold extremities and a sunken, pale face. They might also have convulsions or spasms during illness. Peculiar and confirmatory symptoms include cold sweat on the forehead, simultaneous vomiting and diarrhea, a craving for cold water despite feeling cold, and profound despair and hopelessness. Here is a key example to illustrate how these symptoms might manifest in daily life. Imagine someone returning from a trip who suddenly falls ill with severe food poisoning. They are on the bathroom floor, drenched in cold sweat, vomiting violently and experiencing uncontrollable diarrhea. They feel icy cold but crave cold water. Their face is pale, their eyes sunken, and they are too weak to move, overwhelmed by a sense of despair. This is a typical Veratrum Album state. It's vital to consider the differential diagnosis to avoid confusing this remedy with similar ones. Arsenicum Album. Both are used for gastrointestinal disturbances, but arsenicum patients are anxious and restless, feel warm and crave small sips of water. Veratrum patients are cold and crave large quantities of cold water. Camphor both are used for collapse and coldness, but camphor patients are unresponsive with a bluish, icy cold body. Veratrum patients are often restless and anxious. Cuprum, Metallicum cuprum, is used for violent cramps and convulsions, but the patient isn't as cold or despairing as a Veratrum patient. Now let's discuss antidotes and complementary remedies. Antidotes camphor, coffee and cinchona can antidote the effects of Veratrum Album if given inappropriately. Complementary remedies, Arsenicum Album, cuprum and ipecac, are often used alongside Veratrum Album for similar symptoms, especially for severe gastrointestinal distress. Veratrum Album is indicated in various conditions: cholera, both infantum and morbus, severe gastroenteritis with simultaneous vomiting and diarrhea, meningitis with cold sweats and collapse, puerperal mania and nymphomania, religious or moral anxiety with a sense of despair, collapse from extreme dehydration or exhaustion. In conclusion, Veratrum Album is a powerful remedy for those experiencing extreme physical and mental collapse. Its unique combination of coldness, despair, and violent physical symptoms makes it crucial in homeopathy, particularly in life-threatening situations. By understanding its essence and key symptoms, we can help those in desperate need. This remedy truly embodies extremes of human suffering and offers hope when all seems lost. And with that, we conclude today's lecture. Thank you for your time, and I hope you found this as insightful as I do. Disclaimer: this information is exclusively intended for professional homeopathic practitioners. The author cannot be held responsible for any misuse or improper application of the remedies discussed. It is crucial that these remedies are used only under the guidance of a qualified homeopathic practitioner.